So we talked a lot about, and I'm really very happy we talked about the structure, board, this, that. Okay, and you're a seat of pants guy, and you can work, you can feel a situation as you move along, which is why I think it's part of your longevity, as well as your talent, as well as your production skill. So where do you go? But personally, where do you go for energy? Where do you go when you're absolutely down, right? Three failures, board members you want to kill or whatever. No one's coming to a show. Where does Bill go? Does he go to music? Does he go to, you eat your head off? Or how do you get through that, those dark periods?
Well, first of all, it's very important to have relationships with people that you can trust and you can confide in. And one of my closest is Marcia Sipthorpe, my partner. So she's a lighting designer, and she came to Vancouver. She's from Ontario, and she worked at Shaw Festival, which is where I met her. One summer I was a stage manager when Paxton was running the company. He was running the Playhouse and Shaw Festival and hired me as a stage manager for the summer, and I met her there. And I told her that I was getting involved in this theater in Vancouver that I was excited about. This was before Jacques Brel. This was 71. And she said she had just graduated from college in St. Catharines. And she said, well, maybe I'll come out because I want to be a lighting designer. And she was an electrician at the Shaw Festival, running lights. And I said, sure. And so she arrived that fall after I got back with a couple of her friends. One turned out to be a carpenter. One turned out to be an actor-musician. Anyways, we all got involved in creating shows. This is before Jacques Brel and before I was artistic director. And so I was still working at the Playhouse. That was my day job, as it were, as stage manager. And they helped me put on shows because nobody else at the Arts Club at that time was, they were quite happy with. Yvonne Perkins, who founded the company, she unfortunately died in 66. So from 1966 until I basically took over, the Arts Club was run by, the Arts Club Theatre was run by a committee of these three men who were board members who were committed to putting on plays. And they would put on 2 or 3 plays. And they also rented the space, which is how I discovered the Seymour Street Arts Club. I was a stage manager at the Playhouse in stage managing their stage 2.
But we're talking about where do you go as an artistic person in the dark times?
Well, that's what I was saying. So I could confide in her, in Marcia. That really goes down to the dark side. I think it was, I had a very pleasant upbringing. I had a good family that I grew up with. I have an older brother and a younger brother and sister. So family also becomes something. I grew up in West Vancouver, in the Vancouver area.
Maybe that's the watershed, right? I come from the performer side. So I think, oh, Bill's side, the production side, has to have what we have. And what we have is perpetual rejection. Where I live, the performers in the arts live in the world of perpetual rejection. Sometimes he gets parts, fear of rejection, fear of whatever. And that's just the key signature of our lives. Whereas, well, you do, but you make organizations that run and work and hire, so you don't live on my side of the mountain, the dark side of the mountain.
That's right, and I could make my own decisions, like you're saying, like I will pick up by the pants or whatever, operate. If I knew something was going in the wrong direction,
Not seat of your pants, agile. I'll change that. Bill works by the seat of his pants. No, Bill is agile. He can move quickly. Okay.
and I think that's important, moving quickly, because as I was saying, like if I hadn't gone to the Granville Island, if we hadn't done the Granville Island theaters, I would have gone somewhere else. I would have done something else. I would have gone into film or television or whatever. Whether I would have succeeded, I don't know. I never got that far. But I think this sort of driving forward, always looking ahead, never looking back, looking ahead, like what more can we do? What else can we accomplish? How many more people can we attract to a theater? How many, oh, there's a good actor that I've never worked with. Why don't we hire that person and be part of the community also. I really felt the Arts Club Cononi, the Arts Club Theatre Cononi grow if the community grew, if the community of theatre grew, if there were other theatres, bubbling up as part of that, as part of what we were here in Vancouver.
And you're even in retirement, you're still fundraising and helping Arts Club Theatre and helping Ashley Corcoran. You described to me some fundraising work you were doing.
Yeah. Well,
So-
I mean, COVID obviously partly led to that. But I feel that as part of my sort of longevity with the company, and I have a certain, obviously, respect within the company and ex-board members and other people that have continued to keep in touch with the company, that it's important that I continue to do whatever I can in raising money. Like the 60th anniversary of the company is this year, and feel 23, 24, and that's quite an accomplishment, 60 years for the company to last that long. And so I want to make sure that the company lasts another 60 years. And I'm very passionate about building up our endowment. The endowment was only established 10, 12 years ago. And it's really important to me that the endowment be something that's solid and firm, because part of the issue that led to the Playhouse running out of money is they kept picking money out of their endowment. So their endowment eventually went down to zero. So they had no backup. And I was determined that this would not happen while I was there at the Arts Club, and now that I can just raise money and help them build up that endowment. And also it helps that the federal government has a matching program for part of what you raise towards an endowment.